how Cathie Wood made and lost billions with ARK Invest. Cathie Wood's rise to fame as the CEO of ARK Invest captivated the financial world with her bold bets on disruptive innovation. Admired for her belief in cutting-edge technology like electric cars, genomics, and artificial intelligence, she rose to fame. Under her direction, ARK Invest saw rapid expansion, garnering a horde of devoted investors and generating headlines with enormous returns. But as the market conditions shifted, the very tactics that drove her success also caused a sharp decline. Wood's journey, which was filled with both incredible profits and startling losses, provides an intriguing glimpse into the high-risk, high-reward realm of creative investing. Here's how Cathie Wood used ARK Invest to make and lose billions. 1. An audacious plan for revolutionary innovation. With a completely different outlook, Cathie Wood exploded into the mainstream of finance. She established ARK Invest in 2014 with a focus on disruptive innovation, which most conventional investors deemed too risky. Wood chose to focus on cutting-edge technology like genomics, autonomous cars, fintech, artificial intelligence, and blockchain instead of the safer, more established route of value investing. She had a straightforward but audacious belief. Technology will transform entire industries at exponential speeds, and early investors would reap the rewards. Her approach focused on theme investing, supporting businesses that are positioned to rule the future with conviction based on research. The ARK Innovation, ETFARKK, ARK's flagship product, sought to encapsulate this shift. Wall Street's conventional knowledge was in sharp contrast to Cathie Wood's belief in untested but promising areas, and her self-assured, almost evangelical, promotion of her approach drew a cult-like following. Additionally, ARK's strategy was remarkably open daily. Trades were posted online, and Wood frequently used media outlets to defend her positions. Her goal was not only to beat the market, but also to alter the way that people viewed future investing. Second, rapid development. While the pandemic was in effect, the COVID-19 epidemic made Cathie Wood's name synonymous with achievement. As the globe moved toward digital infrastructure and traditional markets faltered, ARK Invest's high-risk, high-reward wagers began to pay off handsomely. As businesses and consumers embraced remote life, stocks like Tesla, Zoom, Square, and Roku, important holdings in ARK's ETFs, soared. The ARK Innovation ETF was one of the top-performing funds globally in 2020, with a return of more than 150%. All of a sudden, Cathie Wood was featured on financial magazine covers, CNBC, Bloomberg, and YouTube. For the tech generation only, she was heralded as the next Warren Buffett. By early 2021, assets under management had grown from about $3 billion in 2019 to over $60 billion. Now, her company was a financial powerhouse that could move markets with just one acquisition. But the seeds of future turbulence were already being sown because of the enormous influx in skyrocketing valuations. 3. Tesla. The keystone of her approach. Tesla is the firm that most exemplifies Cathie Wood's investment philosophy. Wood made Tesla the focal point of ARK's portfolios, despite the fact that the majority of analysts questioned its value and questioned Elon Musk's capacity to scale. She saw Tesla as a disruptive tech giant that was at the forefront of energy storage, robotics, and autonomous driving, not just a car manufacturer. Her audacious price projections, which at one point predicted that Tesla would reach $7,000 per share pre-split, were viewed with suspicion and even derision. However, she was validated when Tesla's stock skyrocketed in 2020 and 2021. Much of ARK's spectacular profits were driven by Tesla's ascent, and Wood's early assertive approach to the business helped establish her as a visionary. But there were drawbacks to this intense focus as well. However, Tesla was without a doubt the main factor for ARK's success during its explosive growth. 4. Embracing the retail FOMO wave. Cathie Wood's success was a combination of timing and storytelling in addition to astute investment. During a time when Reddit and Robinhood were being used by retail investors to flood the market, Wood's open, forward-thinking strategy seemed new and inspiring. Her public daily deals provided tiny investors the impression that they were inside. Additionally, her regular media appearances contributed to the development of a brand that went beyond finance. Social media chatter contributed to further inflows as the ARK ETFs surged, generating a feedback loop of performance and hype. However, high visibility also meant more scrutiny. The harsh truth of increasing interest rates. The Federal Reserve's vigorous effort to fight inflation by hiking interest rates in late 2021 and early 2022 rocked financial markets, particularly those that depended on future growth. It was a catastrophic blow to ARK Invest. The very essence of disruptive innovation is that profitability frequently lies far in the future, and when interest rates rise, those future cash flows become less attractive in present value terms. Companies including Block, Zoom, Teladoc, and Roku saw significant drops in their market value. From its peak, the ARK Innovation ETF fell more than 70%. The moment was grabbed by critics who had cautioned that ARK's portfolio was based more on hype than on sound principles. The company's assets under control drastically decreased as redemptions started to increase. But Cathie Wood remained steadfast. She persisted in reaffirming many of her beliefs, claiming that innovation will eventually triumph and that the downturn was only temporary. While some saw her constancy as laudable, others saw it as irresponsible. For the time being, the market had turned against her. 6. Maintaining the path. Despite growing losses. Despite the previous drawdowns in ARK's funds, Cathie Wood's investment methodology has always been based on long-term conviction. Wood remained steadfast, even though many investors would have changed their strategy or diversified into more defensive industries. She promised investors that the long-term outlook for innovation had never been better, set new price objectives, and continued to be a prominent figure in the media. She reminded her audience that real believers must withstand volatility and that disruptive developments don't follow straight lines. The criticism, however, grew more intense. Analysts, economists, and fund managers started to wonder if ARK's approach was just riding a bubble that had finally burst. After seeing their money dissipate, some investors lost faith and withdrew their funds. Others, however, remained devoted because they were moved by Wood's unwavering commitment. 7. The unpredictable path. Forward. The legacy of Cathie Wood is still a contentious issue as of 2025. She is without a doubt among the most significant investors of the last 10 years. ARK Invest challenged the notion that successful investing could be guided solely by conventional measurements and introduced disruptive innovation to public markets. Her fund's rise and fall, however, serves as a warning about timing, risk, and market psychology. The world continues to struggle with changing tech environments, inflation, and geopolitical instability. The question is whether investors still have the stamina to ride the roller coaster, even as some of ARK's fundamental themes like AI, genomics, and digital transformation remain as attractive as ever. Wood remains confident that ARK will significantly surpass standards and continues to predict enormous improvements over the next 5 years. It will be interesting to watch if this next chapter develops into a redemption arc or a further slide. For better or worse, there is no denying that Cathie Wood has altered the discourse surrounding investing. The market is keeping a close eye on her narrative as it develops. Ending. A lesson in conviction, risk, and the erratic nature of innovation can be learned from Cathie Wood's experience with ARK Invest. She won over the hearts of individual investors, upended the established conventions in the financial sector, and demonstrated that audacious ideas can result in both excruciating profits and devastating losses. While some criticize her for her failures, others respect her fortitude and long-term outlook. Let us know in the comments what you think about how Cathie Wood made and lost billions with ARK Invest. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.